Hi everybody, welcome back to Small Caliber Arms Review. I'm Richard, and if you'll remember a couple months ago I built this. This was the Traditions Crockett Rifle. It's a 32 caliber percussion gun, and it's a squirrel gun. And it's springtime, so it's getting pretty close to squirrel season right now, and we're gonna get this thing out on the range, put 20 grains of GoX in it, sight it in at 25 yards, and then see how it performs at 50 yards, which is probably going to be about the effective range of this rifle. Being such a small caliber, it's a good squirrel gun. That's what they intended it for. It's a pretty cool kit. It went together pretty easily, and now I got to get it out and see if it actually functions. It's pretty nice weather out there today, so I don't know that I'm going to need the hunting frock on, but we'll get it out there and give it a few tries anyways. Okay, I was wrong. It is cool out here on the range, so the hunting frock is going to be on. Now, we're going to go ahead and put some GoX. This is 3F or triple F FFFG GoX powder, and there's real black powder. I've got my powder flask. I've got a powder measure because the spout on this is, I think, like 35 grains or something like that. So we're only going to put 20 grains in there. I've got my wads, or my patches for the round balls in there. I got some of the round balls. These are little tiny things here too. These are 32 caliber or .310 inches, which is, they say, probably comparable to a 22 long rifle. I've got some number 10 percussion caps out here. I've got some 10 3/4 percussion caps out here too. And I've got my cleaning jag, and one thing I did find out is the patches, cleaning patches for 270 fit perfect in here. Now, one of the things you're going to want to do if you get one of these smaller ones, make sure you get the right jag for cleaning this. It is a 32 caliber jag, and when you go into most stores, most of them carry 45 caliber or 50 caliber black powder muzzle loading rifles, and you need that specific one because it's cut or sized so that the patch will, be able to be pulled out, and it's a specific diameter to get that to work right. Anyways, we're going to get 20 grains of powder loaded up in the measure, get it dumped in the gun, and get everything going right. All right, now one of the things you always want to be sure of when you're doing black powder stuff is make sure you don't get an air gap between the charge and the projectile, or the bore and the projectile. So first thing we're going to do is, I've got an empty barrel here. There's nothing in it. So this is where my range rod ends up at, about 1/4 inch past the end of it, or the ram rod anyways, and that is empty. So what I need to do is, when I go to compress this load in there, I need to make sure that I've got powder, the ball, and everything in there. So the ball is .31 inches. If I was to put that in there, it would stick up just a little bit higher. When I put the patch and 20 grains of powder in, it'll stick up even higher than that. I want to make sure that when I put the charge in there, that my ramrod's not sticking up like that, because that's way too much powder, or I do not have the ball seated all the way up against the powder. Anyways, we'll get the measure filled up, and then we'll get it in the rifle. All right, so I've just filled up the spout there. Like I said, this spout is too much. It's way more than 20 grains, but I've got my measure set at 20 grains, and I'm going to go ahead and fill it up. All right, now push the button, let that powder go back down in the flask there. Go ahead and close this, and it'll level it off. Any extra powder just ends up on the ground. Try not to spill too much. It's becoming pretty rare these days. I'll go ahead and fill this up, dump it down in the barrel. Make sure it's all down in there. Then I'll grab me a patch and a round ball. Get that patch centered up on the barrel there. Get the ball right in the middle of it. Give it a little push to start it in there. And then take the ramrod and get it pushed down in there. Tap it down in there pretty good. You want to make sure it's all the way in there. So there's 20 grains of powder, the round ball, the patch, and then that little 1/4 inch extra I had sticking up there. So that should be good right there. It is all the way in. We'll get this out, set to the side, get the rifle set up in the rest, and then get everything out of the way. I don't want my black powder or my flask or anything sitting anywhere near the gun, because if there was an errant spark to go off and hit something, it could set off the whole container. We don't want to do that. Okay, so I got my eyes on and I got my ears in. You definitely want to have eyes on with this because sometimes these caps will kind of shatter, fragment, and little pieces of that metal can come flying back at you. So we'll go ahead and pull it back to the half cock position. That is the only safety that's on this thing. And we're going to take, we'll take one of these 1075s and put it on there. Now you can keep these in a capping tool, a capper to put on there, and it makes it a lot easier to handle them. They're little tiny things, so they're you'll fumble around them with big fat fingers. We'll get these moved out of the way. Make sure that's seated on there. I got the eyes and ears on, and we're going to take a shot at the 25-yard target there. Pull it back to full cock. Now this has double triggers on it. It's got a set trigger and a release trigger. So we're going to go ahead and use that because it lightens up the front trigger, the release trigger, quite a bit. It kind of lends towards the accuracy. All right, here we go. All right, there's the first shot with it. Actually, the second shot. I come out here yesterday and messed around with it a little bit and had some difficulties. I had to do some shimming on the barrel tang on here to get it raised up because the hammer wasn't coming down and contacting the primer. So, the primer, it did fragment quite a bit. It split open on the sides, which is okay. They're going to do that. But that's why you definitely want to have eyes on with these things, just in case. We'll go ahead and let that hammer down there. We'll go up there and take a look at the target real quick. Okay, there's my two shots. This one was yesterday's shot right here. And believe it or not, there was no aiming there. I just needed to get the ball out of the barrel so I could work on it. And I just took and tapped the primer with my ball starter. And there's the second shot right there. So it looks like I'm shooting. Well, it's only one shot really that I was aiming with, so we'll give it a couple more shots and see what it does. Now we got to get the barrel swabbed out, cleaned out a little bit, and then we'll get another ball in there and see how it reacts. All right, so cleaning it, I'm going to go ahead and take that jag and screw it on the end of my ramrod there. And there are different size threads on these too. You need a range rod or a ramrod. The ramrod's a little bit bigger threads on it. The range rod is a little bit smaller. But I'm going to go ahead and use some, this is Thompson's number 13 bore cleaner, and it's a water-based, so what we're going to do is just wet a patch down, run it in there, pull it back out, then we'll run a dry patch in there and charge it up again. It's non-toxic, contains polydimethyl siloxane in an aqueous solution. It is FDA food grade rated. Doesn't sound like anything I want in my food. But we got one wet patch there. We'll go ahead and get it run down the barrel. See if I can do this left-handed. And there it is, there's the patch. That's pretty dark and nasty there. A lot of black powder residue left inside there. Now we'll get a dry patch in there. We got the bulk of it out. I'm going to continue shooting. Now when you go to put this thing up, when you're done shooting, you definitely want to get it all cleaned out because black powder will damage the barrel if you don't keep it cleaned out of there. Okay, that rod's a little hard to grab onto with when your fingers are damp. It's still a little bit of black in there, but I'm not going to do a thorough cleaning on it because I'm going to load another one in there and give it a try again. I have actually seen people make stands that you can lean these up on so that they're not in the dirt or anything, and makes it really a lot nicer to do your reloads on and everything. Again, there's my 20 grains of powder. Another patch. Another round ball. Push it down with your finger a little bit to get it started, and then get it rammed in there. Now I left the jag on the end there. It makes it a little easier to grab a hold of this thing now. All right, we'll put a cap on and give it another try. Put another cap on there, get them closed up, get the powder and stuff moved out of the way, and I'm going to aim for the exact same spot and see if they hit in the same spot consistently, because then it'll tell me whether or not I need to drift my front or rear sight one way or the other. Get the ears in again because it is loud. All right, I'm gonna go take a look at that real quick. Okay, there's shot number 3, or 2 for today anyways, and that's not bad whatsoever. A ½ inch off roughly from the center of the target there. I kind of like it. We're gonna take a couple more before we call that good, and then we'll do the 50-yard target down there. All right, we're gonna get it loaded up again. This time we're gonna take shots at the 50-yard target up there. There we go. There it went. Now I had a primer go off without the charge going off. I did take the ramrod and make sure that it was seated all the way down in there, and then put another primer on it, and that time it fired. All right, so that's what, 3 shots at the, let's say it's 2 shots at the 50-yard target. Let's go down there and take a peek at it real quick, see what it looks like. Okay, there's my 2 shots. I am 1, 2, 3, 4 inches to the left. That one, the elevation's pretty darn good, and I'm 1, 2, 3 inches down on the elevation on that shot. I don't know which one was which because I can't see them from that far away. Plus, this pattern's been put in the same spot, or this target's been put in the same spot a few times, so that's just sunlight shining through there. It's not actual holes. These are the only 2 holes in the target. Let's, I got 3 more rounds and see if I have any more issues with the primers and that nipple. I've heard a lot of people say these, when you get these kits, that it's not the best quality parts they put in them. And I can imagine that. But a lot of people will replace the nipples as one of the first things they do on there. We'll give it a few more tries, see how it does. All right, before I give up on it, there's one more thing I want to do. I want to get the barrel out of here. And I think I had an issue with it before when I was playing with it, and I noticed that the rear tang of the barrel here sunk down in below the wood farther than I thought it should have anyways. And I shimmed it up a little bit. I'm going to try putting one more shim in it just to see if that helps out at all. So I'll get the barrel removed from here. And what I ended up doing was cutting these little shims out of some gasket material. So I'm going to put one more in there just to see if that actually helps. Now what that's actually going to do is raise the back of the barrel up a little bit. So hopefully, fingers crossed and every stuff, it will make the nipple sit up just high enough where it gets good contact. With the hammer. Okay, that raised it up, oh, maybe a 1/64 of an inch. We will get it charged up one more time and give it a try because I really don't want to give up on it. It's a cool little rifle. I really enjoy it, and I think it'd be a lot of fun. Get another one of the CCI primers out, caps. and we will see if that makes the difference. Again, 50-yard target. Okay, that was one. Doesn't necessarily mean that that did the trick, so I have to try some more. Okay, another shot. See how this one does. It quite possibly could have been what my issue was there. I had a theory about it, but that's two. Let's see if we can go 3 for 3. Okay, see if third time's a charm. Yeah, I think that might have been the whole issue. So if you get one of these kits and you're putting it together, watch where that sits. Make sure that hammer is going to go down far enough to pinch the cap between the hammer and the nipple there. I'm pretty sure that's what the issue was with it. It seems to be functioning just fine right now. Of course, that was only 3 shots, but I'm pretty sure that was it. I've got one more already sitting up there ready to go, so I'm going to go ahead and load it in. All right, one more at the 50-yarder there, and then we'll see what happens. Okay, I think that was the issue there. It's just the rear of the barrel was too far down in the wood there. I put a couple shims underneath it to bring it up there, and it's slightly above flush, but it seems to me like that did the trick. That fixed it. As far as accuracy, I can just bump my sights around a little bit to get it just exactly where it needs to be. And really, I went down there and peeked at the 50-yard shots, and they didn't seem to do too bad. But if you're going to get one of these kits, understand it's not perfect right out of the box. There's some stuff that needs to be done, and you may have to take it out and do some test shots with it to see if it functions right. I think I've got it where it's functioning properly now, and I think it'll be a pretty good rifle. I need to get out there in the woods and go find me some squirrels. Anyways, if you could, hit this button up here to check out some of my other videos. Hit this button down here to subscribe if you haven't already. And thanks for watching Small Caliber Arms Review.